Quilly, I handed you, yep, and you're ready to go. So you can start whenever you're ready.
All right, so you can see my screen, right?
Yep, and we can hear you fine.
All right, perfect. So my talk is about marketing a VN. So I guess this is helpful for people who are interested in getting on Steam. So what I did is my game's not released yet, but I tried to get it on Steam before when the Greenlight system was still going on. So that is well, they have a pool of, I guess, indie games. You have to submit their games to Steam Greenlight, and then there's a community vote, and then every 2 weeks or so, or a couple of weeks, Valve, the company who operates Steam, will greenlight or allow several games, like mostly based on popularity or other things, and then allow them to publish. So my role in making this game is, well, I do mostly everything. So writing, marketing, I do the RenPy programming, and um, I commission the art and some of the music. And about me, well, I'm a full-time grad student, so I do a lot of teaching, tutoring, and I do VN stuff in my free time. But sometimes there's a big crunch time, and then I can't do anything. And I also collect games on Steam, and I don't play them enough. And I just do a lot of stuff overall. So just kind of to give some background, favorite games are stuff like Bayonetta, Nier, Automata, Transistor, and also Black Closet. I didn't mention too many VNs here. Well, Black Closet is kind of one, but the thing is, all these games have in common is they have a really good story. So that's what I was trying to do with VN. I think it's a awesome medium. So this is the game that I'm working on. It's called A Summer with the Shiba Inu. It's just a couple screenshots. So I'll get into the meat of what I mean by marketing. So first, I remember one of the presenters said that visual novels are very accessible. They're like you said, anyone can make it in a sense, right? So that was kind of my idea. I love visual novels. I enjoy the story. I enjoy a good story, and it doesn't matter what the gameplay is. I enjoy different types, but just being able to convey a story. So I took a look at some of the engines. I used fungus in Unity, and I tried Tyranno Builder as well. But then now I'm moving to RenPy, and it's great. I love it. But yeah, it is very accessible. You can just spend some time, but your initial thought might be, oh, visual novel dev release, woo, on Steam, it's greenlit, everything, right? But actually, no. Nope, nope. Marketing, it's such a huge thing because even though it kind of started as a passion project, I realized that if there was no one who knew about it, then no one would play it and nothing. So as someone who just started out, like, you don't know what's going on. It's not always evident what to do. So I went in blind. I just started Googling things like, what should I do? Uh, right. So what I did was I made a website. I still need to update that because what I will mention is marketing takes up so much time, more than I ever imagined. So I also used presskit, which a lot of indie devs or devs in general use. So it just like generates a quick, I think it's like .php file for your website, and then you can just link it. So it's already formatted, so it helps you a lot. And a list of journalists to contact. So this is one of the things that I found on this nice resource, Pixel Prospector. They have, I guess, some YouTubers you might contact, but they have very general lists. Like a lot of these YouTubers or journalists, they don't even cover visual novels. So what I mean by tailor this is I dug around on some gaming news sites and whatnot, and then I looked at who's covered visual novels before, who's covered story-oriented games before, right? and then I would stalk them. Well, by that I mean I would click into their profile, like on Destructoid or something rock, like I don't know, just many news sites, and then I'd like try to find their Twitter and then try to contact them. But at the time, this is what I did in order to get greenlit, right? Because on Steam Greenlight, you need to get enough votes. So what I did was try to, broadcast my game and then try to drum up some votes. What I also did was I started a Twitter account, which I had never really used before, and then I made an email just to make it look a bit more, professional and all that. Okay, and so that was also a lot of work. So bingo board. But yeah, I haven't used any ads yet, but also because a one person dev team, it's, budget wise, sometimes it's not feasible at the beginning. So maybe in the month before release, or maybe if there's more budget, then that might be a thing. And I also use Google Analytics, so you can sign up for it and then you can link maybe your website, or what I linked was the Steam Greenlight page, and then you can see where the traffic is coming from. So that was pretty important. I check it every day or so, and then I'd see, oh, where's the traffic coming from? Is it from Twitter? Is it from Facebook or YouTube or something? So one other thing I didn't really include in the slides was I can't stress enough. Well, what worked for me was, I guess, being active on social media, especially Steam, and even Steam or Discord or whatnot. Even if you're not constantly broadcasting your game at all, like you just interact with people or networking in a sense, but you also get to chat about things you like. And so on Steam, I wrote reviews for games, right? So there was already a lot of people who followed these reviews. So there were people who were interested in following my work because they kind of had some, like they know that I create content. So I guess for artists or musicians, it might be nice to have some sort of consistent portfolio or whatnot, or just like chatting or joining in a community. Like that really helped for me, I think, more than just blind emailing people. Because if you have kind of spoken to someone, or if they've read your interviews or your reviews or stuff you've written, stuff you've drawn, stuff like that, then they are more willing to be invested in your personal projects. So I think that is a really important thing for me, to already be a content creator type thing. But yeah, one other takeaway is that it really took a lot of time for me to do all of that. For example, making the website from scratch took quite a long time. And then making a demo and video, I also did that myself, which I might get help in the future for the video editing, but that also took quite a lot of time. So for, I guess, one person or a small team, like definitely budget some time for that. Yeah, so that's what I mean by this slide. I'd budget much more time, and then I'll keep in mind my limitations. So yeah, I don't know if I still have time.
Got like
questions?
2 minutes. And we also have a break, 10-minute break right after this, so we're safe.
Okay, yeah, awesome. Yeah, feel free to ask some questions.
All right, let's see what happens. But well, now that Steam Greenlight is gone, do you feel anything has changed now that Steam Direct is the thing?
I personally think that Steam Greenlight was a great opportunity to get your game out, because you're forced to do this whole marketing step that a lot of people kind of forget to do. Or with Steam Direct, you don't really have a store page type thing until you're actually released, but then the release window might already have passed. Yeah, so I think Steam Greenlight was pretty good. There was a lot of like a lot of people said, oh, there's a lot of trash games on it, but it also provided a good marketing platform, I feel. So one of the questions was, when is this game out? When do we get doggos? Hopefully next, it is this year already. I keep forgetting, it's 2018. yeah, once I graduate from grad school, I'll have a couple months off, and then I'll keep people posted. I was thinking August, probably. Oh, one question: any tips contacting YouTubers or streamers? So I started. Actually, it was funny because some YouTubers they go digging around for things, and I was surprised to find 1 or 2 video clips of just my demo, which is really outdated. But there were people who played it without me even reaching out. And there's a list on the site Pixel Prospector with a lot of YouTubers. But then again, like just definitely go, maybe even Google on Google like, oh, visual novel let's play or something. And then there's gonna be a bunch of YouTubers and then you can message them. Usually they have some sort of business email in their YouTube profile. And same with Twitch. I've asked around and then I've gotten different responses. Some people think it's very difficult to watch VNs on Twitch, but some people enjoy when streamers they discuss and like maybe like act it out or like laugh and chat. So maybe you could look up something like that, like some streamer YouTuber that's already played something similar. And okay, one question is how important is having your own website? I actually think okay, the reason I decided to make it might be different for every scenario because when I was on Greenlight, I looked around at, what peers were doing in Greenlight, and a lot of them had at least some sort of website. And a lot of VNs kind of have, even if it's just a bare bone website, and they do. And I saw it, and then I was like, oh, okay, I have to probably make one. But you could also just have just a front page or some sort of thing, or just link to your Twitter. That is fine. At least have some, I think online presence is one thing that I found was important. Like people want to see that you are active or that you're, I guess, alive and working on the game. Okay, so the a question about emails. So sending people a notification and information about the upcoming game. Yeah, so I actually kind of blind emailed a lot of journalists. Like many of them didn't respond, but I looked at a lot of indie dev forums, and then that seemed to be common because they get a lot of emails every day. So I think the important tip that I got is just to maybe like in the first 2 sentences, like grab their attention. And then one piece of advice I got was like, don't make it about me, like not like a sob story about the creator or something like that, but just the game. But this might differ for different journalists, of course, and then provide screenshots in the email. Okay, so do I have enough time? I could respond to a lot of these.
Well, you can keep going. I'll let people. It is technically break time, so go wash, get some snacks. But yeah, you can keep answering questions. I will tee up the next person. So Brandon, I'm going to give you presenter mode. You can kind of set up, but then when 350 rolls around, you can go whenever. Okay.
Okay, so another question is it worth the time investment to create your own content, like Let's Plays, articles, reviews? I think it's worth it to maybe have some pieces of written media. Like maybe you don't, I don't know if people would really read maybe a full review of your own game, like on Steam, if I created a review for my own game, but it might be worth it. For example, in an email to the press, you might have like a short paragraph of what they could easily kind of rewrite because you want to save them time, right? So that is important to have maybe some written like word stuff or maybe record some videos. But I don't think it's necessary to make a whole Let's Play or a whole review for yourself, but just definitely have some content that saves people time. So that's where the press kit comes in. So the press kit consists of maybe some screenshots and then some synopsis or like information about you or the studio, which journalists, Let's Players, or whatever, they can just at one glance get in all the information so they don't have to go digging around. Okay, yeah, I have my Twitter account. I shall link. And I am in the process of updating the demo because I made it in Tyranno actually, and it's kind of changed since then. Oh, okay. So another question is, what do you think of using Wix for your website? I think that is fine. Just make it clean looking. And even if, well, yeah, have like a professional looking username, because your username will show up in the URL unless you pay. But you can change that also. But yeah, just make it a clean, or what I did was I looked up some websites that I thought looked nice, even if they're not from VNs. Yeah, and I just, for example, when I'm buying for a game, well, when I'm buying games, I look for their websites, right? So even if it's something, it's good. Okay, so another question, website, Twitter. Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard to quantify your efforts in marketing. That's why marketing was such a, I guess it was a bit of a drain, because it's not like, oh, you tweet 10 tweets and then you get this amount of attention, right? So it is kind of a, like you can't really quantify how much marketing is the best marketing, but I wouldn't say more is better, but maybe targeting the right people or the right demographics. And of course, joining events like this, you get to meet a lot of people. And even if it's not to talk about your game or anything, it just helps foster like some sort of like cool, supportive environment. Yeah, and definitely if you contact the biggest journalists, they get a ton of email every day. So it definitely is hit and miss. But then, as Steam Girl mentioned, sometimes if you contact maybe smaller news sites and whatnot, then they might be really willing to cover it. Okay, so oh yeah, so Justy Guy. Do you think visual novel let's plays are positive or negative? Yeah, so one thing I was thinking about is, what if they have a lot of spoilers? Like I know a lot of publishers, they might have some sort of rule. Like I'm talking about bigger VN publishers, like Japanese publishers or manga gamers, stuff like that. They have rules that prohibit, I guess, streaming or recording the ending chapters or so. But I guess for a smaller scale, I might be willing to let them record it. Or yeah, I probably will. Oh, hi. Did you say something?
No, but speaking as a publisher, like that is usually determined on a case by case by the creator themselves. Like some people are just flat out not comfortable with it, and there's nothing we can ever say to convince them otherwise. So they set the rule. Others are just like, yeah, it's fine. So
Oh yeah, because I remember reading up Sekai projects. I guess they're streaming terms, because one time I wanted to record something and then I looked it up. I didn't end up recording, but I just, yeah. So
yeah.
what do you usually do then?
We just ask them. It's like, okay, this is a thing. There are some pluses and minuses, as you know, and we explain as best we can. And then it's their it's their judgment. It's their IP. So if they say go for it, like let everything be streamed, then okay, we'll happily let everyone stream it. And if they say up to first chapter or first hour or whatever it is, that's what it is, right? We can, if some people have said no streaming, and we say, we recommend that you'll, but it's their decision.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a lot that I've been reading recently, because Twitch has, I guess, marketing media, and YouTube as well has been definitely growing. And then for a lot of games, even not just visual novels, but any type of game, there is always the question of, if people just watch the game, maybe they won't buy it. So maybe that's a lost sale. But if more people watch it, maybe more people will possibly buy it. So that could be increased sales.
Yeah,
So it's always, yeah.
There's no proof either way. I've never seen data that goes either way. You can argue both sides. So, as far as it goes, it's at personal preference and what they feel, what they're comfortable with. All right, it's